good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to Full Time Sports Network. Welcome to something different. We're going to have a nice little chat down memory lane tonight. We're doing Arsenal Greatest 11. Who is in yours? So I've asked people all week, and we've got 10 different lineups. And we've also got an Arsenal challenge, a special one. Arsenal versus Arsenal. So no one can complain. No one can moan. G will be up against two other people that have taken part in this. So it's going to be interesting. And I was thinking we could also play a bit of a high-low game. I don't know what I think. Play your cards right with Bruce Forsyth when you do the flip of the card, higher or lower. We're going to play a bit of that as well. We're going to play a bit of that as well with the play because there's 26 different players that everyone's picked for the 10 different lineups. There's only one goalkeeper. Not going to surprise anybody who it actually is. But there's only one goalkeeper in the whole 10 lineups. It's mad. There's a couple of right backs, a couple of full backs.
Yeah.
There's only 3 centre backs, which surprised me. Actually, no, is there more? Actually, I'm just thinking, has someone picked Toure? I don't think anyone did pick Toure. No one picked Toure, which I was quite surprised with, to be honest.
I'm surprised by that because I was to and fro in between him and Adams.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Adams is the only one that's in the team.
Campbell for me was the first name on the defense. Yeah, Campbell for me.
He's not in mine.
And Adams, it was it was between. I wanted to kind of maybe keep the cohesion of the Campbell Toure partnership that we had with the Invincibles. So I was kind of thinking about it a little bit deeper, and then I just thought, there's no way I can not have Adams in this side. But yeah, for me, it was close. It was close. Even I say like Campbell was the first name down. Even there, I ended up picking obviously Campbell and Adams. But at the same time, that's why this show is good. That's why this challenge and what we're doing here tonight is interesting because there are some really tough choices, and there's no right and wrong answer here. It's it comes down to just preference.
Yeah. And
sometimes it just comes down to the fact that you've got to select somebody. You've got to make that choice because a lot of these I just didn't actually want to choose. So, but it is what it is. We've got to pick 11.
Yeah. Well, look, we're going to look at the teams. There's going to be no rating. We're just going to talk about the team. But I don't want anyone thinking, oh, hang on, my team's only got a 7 and all that.
Yeah.
No, this is Arsenal. They all played and wore the Arsenal shirts, so they're all fantastic. They're all 10s, no matter what, even mine. I've got to go, be honest there. Big up to Brenny that's in the chat. I know he was meant to be on, but unfortunately he's working, so I hope your shift isn't too bad for you, Brenny. Big up to Moss. I see Super Kev. I see my tall legend, Perry Groves, who gave Moss Tattoo proper respect. Nice eye spy. Yeah, I had to do everything possible that was just classic Arsenal for this show. Burkout, my man. Love it. Yes, definitely mine as well. Evening, Brenny, Bobby, and all in check. Big up to you, Tony. And Tony, you have put your team in. Oh, hang on. You're going to have to help me with the Armstrong. I'll be honest. I'll star it, but you're going to have to. Tony, if you can, tell me who he is. Because one, I can't think of who he is off the top of my head. Can you, G?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
The rest of the players I know.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have to.
Armstrong. I think I remember you talking about it in a stream a while back, but you're going to have to remind me. You're going to have to remind me who it is. Cool shirt, G. Yeah, he's actually got. I've got one of those.
I had to do it. I had to do it today.
Nice bit of retro. I've obviously gone for German because it's an international break, so I've gone for the international break. Right. What else he said? Hello, you sexy beasts. He's obviously talking to you, G.
Talking about you too, Bobby.
Right. This is where we're going to start play high or low. We'll go for a little bit about the players as well. So here, Georgie Armstrong. Right. Tony, it's slightly before my time. Unfortunately, my granddad's not around anymore to tell me about these players anymore. So, I will definitely look into him after. Because off the top of my head, I cannot think who he is. Can you, G? Georgie Armstrong?
No, and for me, my dad wasn't an Arsenal fan. I started watching football. What? I'm trying to think, like maybe early 90s, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, way before my time.
There we go. And Brenny's already come in there. Georgie Armstrong, right winger, double winner, and former Arsenal.
This is it, man. Brenny, listen, you should have been here, but keep the comments, man, because I'm sure me and Bobby are going to need your assistance at some stage.
Well, right, let's get into the actual players that have all been picked. So we're going to start with David Seaman. Now, David Seaman wasn't one of ours. We signed him. Can you think where we signed him from, G? I'm going to test a bit of knowledge as we go through this.
Nah, I'm going to take a guess and just say QPR.
Well done. Good guess, because that is spot on.
Yeah,
right, we paid.
That's the name that came to mind. So I thought, I think it was QPR.
Yeah. Right. Well, we paid £1.7 million for him for a goalkeeper. So this is where we're going to start playing higher or lower.
Yeah.
Now, did Lee Dixon? Now, I'll help you. We signed Lee Dixon from Stoke.
Okay.
Higher or lower than David Seaman's price?
I'd say lower.
Yeah, it was £600,000, a bargain.
You can't even get a youth player for that now.
I know, it's absolutely madness. Right, we'll move on to other fullbacks. So Bakary Sagna has also made the list. Higher or lower than 600,000?
I think it was higher.
Yes, it was £9 million. Can you think where from?
Oh, Sanya.
£8 million. Sorry, I've got the wrong.
I believe it was from the French league.
Yes, it was.
And I can't remember who it was, but I'm gonna just go with. I'll go with Lille.
No, Auxerre.
Auxerre, okay.
Yeah. So £8 million for him. We'll move on to Lauren, who has been picked in a couple as well. Now we signed him from Mallorca. Now was that higher or lower than Sagna?
I've got to say it was lower because he came quite a bit earlier. It was higher.
Yeah, 9 million.
Wow, it was close. It was
close. Yeah, it was very
crazy.
Close.
You would have thought, that's mad. I would have definitely thought Lauren would have come in at a cheaper price, just because of obviously, common sense, the time he signed for us, and obviously generally years, as the years go on, the fees become higher and higher. But both quality.
The both quality they were. Right, let's move on to Nigel Winterburn. Higher or lower than Bakary Sagna?
I'll go with lower.
Yes. Do you know where we got him from?
No idea.
Wimbledon. The original Wimbledon, by the way. The original one of these MK Don rubbish. Proper Wimbledon. But yeah, £500,000 he cost. Absolute bargain. We'll move on to him. I'm not even going to say his name because I can't be bothered. I don't like him. Higher or lower than Winterburn?
Yeah, he's got to be higher, isn't he?
Are you sure about that?
No, but he was a young prospect though, isn't it? So it's.
But was he one of ours?
Yeah, I'm not sure where he came from originally.
I'll help you. He was our product.
Oh, he's a Haylender, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, he's one of
I
us.
thought he might have been like an Eddie that we like pinched from somewhere.
Oh, we might have, like back in like when it's 12 or 13, maybe, but there was no financial cost whatsoever for us. So yeah, he's one of ours.
It's crazy to think like Hayland boy, but now literally like, do you know what I mean? It's like in terms of he's like Voldemort, isn't it? So, I mean the one that you don't even want to talk about, but it's sad really.
Yeah, he was. Right, before we get into some more 1970 legends, says Moss. Moss, I always already know that you weren't even old enough for that. I'm not old enough for that. But yeah, I wish I knew every single player at Arsenal Football Club. I don't. And sadly, my granddad's not around anymore to even just talk about it. So, big dollars back then. Boldy from Stoke too. Yes, Steve Bold was also. You've got a lot of good blonde players from Stoke, if I'm honest. They make them well up here, I tell you. Bobby and G, you need to look on the internet. He was fast and crossed better than Beckham with pace and crossing. You know what? If I can find some actual footage of him, I will actually look at it as well. Because you've mentioned him. If you've put him in your greatest 11, then obviously he's decent. So, Mallorca, Laurent, Cameroon, underrated like Zinni, but right-sided. Crazy gang, 100% Tony. Watch a few videos and retro the big match highlights. Cole Hale, N boy, but yeah, exactly. That's why I won't put his name. I can't. Yeah, got to know some history like Brenny. 70. We do know some history, but we just don't know everything. I know history about other stuff. That's the thing. So I wish I knew everything about Arsenal. I really do. That's why I have a history book that's just right by my bed. along with my Bibles. So, you know, it is what it is. Right, let's move on to Mr. Tony Adams. Now, did he cost more or less than Ashley
The thing
Cole?
is, that's a tricky one because I would say less because I think we signed him as a schoolboy.
Correct.
So I can only assume he was less than Cole. Yeah,
he was a product. He was a product. Now let's move on to Master Martin Keown. Now this one surprised me because I thought we actually brought him as well. This guy, we technically did for when he was actually good. But he actually, because I'm not. This one's tricky, so I'm not. I'm going to help you with this one. He was actually through our Hale End, then moved on to some clubs before we signed him back for 2.7 million in 92-93. So he did actually come through the Hale End, which was quite surprising to me, to be fair.
That's a bit of a journey as well.
Yeah. I can't remember the two. He went to, I think one was Aston Villa, Everton. But yeah, he had a little bit of a journey before he came back and actually made a name for himself at Arsenal, which is lovely. I love that. Yeah, when you lived it, you remember much easier. You weren't alive in 71, Moss. How can you? I know what year you were born in. You didn't live it. Oh, I love him. Frank McClintock. I can't even say his name. Frank McClintock was close to being in my time before Bold and Keown. Yeah, to be fair, the centre backs, I was expecting way more centre backs, if I'm honest. We literally got 3.
But you know what? The thing is, though, it's like, have we had that many good centre backs though over the years?
When you think about our famous back 4,
yeah,
Keown, Bold, Adams, I was expecting the variation of that with Sol Campbell, maybe Colo Touré.
Yeah.
Some people like Koscielny as well, to be fair, and he wasn't all. So we have had some decent ones. Obviously, if Pascal Sigan was in one of the teams, I'd question people's mental health.
Yeah, for real.
But other than that, we've had some decent ones. Keown, he always wanted back. We sold him and brought him back. Yes, that's exactly what we did. That's why I'm saying have to remember. So got to read up, but not the same as when you were live and see it. Then you remember easier. Yeah, I'm just saying, Ross, you're not that old. So I'm trying to be nice. I'm saying you're young. You are young. So you wouldn't have been alive in 71. McClintock, Simpson, but not Willie Young. I don't know where this Willie Young is. I've heard the name before, but I don't know why. I'm going to have to... Tony, you're going to have to do a stream with us one day and just have a good conversation
100%.
with us, especially about being Brenny as well, because Brenny loves it. So I'd love to hear it. It'd be like sitting down with my granddad again, just listening to the old stories about Arsenal, which, to be fair, that's when football was proper football. None of this loads of money in it. You just loved the game. But yeah, madness. Right. So 2.7 for Keown. Let's move to Sol Campbell. Was he lower or higher?
He was free, baby.
He was free. And you know what? He didn't cost a single penny to any club he went to. No transfer.
Oh, is it? Oh, even because what did he? Was he? So he was he a product for Spurs Youth Academy?
Yeah, he was Tottenham. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Tottenham
Okay.
Product, yeah. Which makes it sweeter. It makes it sweeter. It kind of like, you raised him and we stole you from.
Literally, like we stole your schoolboy prodigy. That's brilliant.
So much nice. We'll move on to Saka. He has made some people's teams, which, I have no issues with. However, over the years of Arsenal, I'm surprised he has made it, but there's nothing wrong with it. Saka, did he cost less or the same as Sol Campbell, do you reckon?
I can only assume it's the same, nothing.
Well, it's a product, isn't he?
Yeah.
Product of us. Here we go. I'm sure Willie. Oh, here we go. Willie Young was a left back, played under Terry Neal. Sol choose the Arsenal. Kenny Sampson, McClintock classics, but still we had so much high quality coming with Arsenal as you. How come you've managed to miss Georgie Graham? Georgie Graham did exist. Just saying. I love the fact that some Arsenal fans just kind of skip over Georgie Graham. I don't know why. He was very important for our history. I admittedly, Bruce Rioch is not talked about for obvious reasons. Look at FA Cup versus West Ham and Ipswich with a young Costa. So, okay. I'll definitely have a look at that game. I must admit, I nearly put Pat Jennings in before Seaman. I wouldn't have been surprised by that, Tony. I've heard, this is obviously nothing to do, I cannot guarantee that I'll choose this. Pat Jennings was better than David Seaman. I don't know. I've only remember seeing Seaman, so that's why I stick with Seaman. But I have heard he was an outstanding goalkeeper and a proper goalkeeper, no gloves and all that stuff. But game was different then in 80s. I am saying Graham was late 80s, early 90s. Graham was early 80s, late 80s, early 90s. He was there for about a decade, I would have thought. Manager George Graham, we've won trophies less than Wenger in 8 years. GG was legendary, both player and manager. Yes, he was. Jennings and Ghent and a scholar and amazing. Yeah, Pat Jennings. And he played for both clubs, and we're still not. I don't know, George. I swear he's 1983, 1984. I suppose this bit out of the all rate range as well, isn't it, G?
Yeah, man.
George
That's
Graham.
the 84 is the year I was born.
How was it? I'm trying to think now. It's going to bug me now. So I'm just going to quickly look it up whilst I have a quick look. So give me a minute. I'm sure he's about 84. 80, yeah. Jennings was better than Seaman, but had the sponsorship. Yeah, that's why I didn't choose Campbell, if I'm honest. I tried to pick nothing to do with Tottenham, if I'm honest, for me. Right, let's move on to Robert Pires. Did he cost more than Saka?
Yeah, he's
and
got
how
that.
much?
I think he cost around the £7 million mark.
8.5 million.
Yeah, and we got him from Marseille, didn't we?
Oh, well done. That's my next question. That was my next question. Thank you, Bren. Appreciate it. But to be fair, I was only in 86. I was only 6. So
yeah,
that will be where I
was 2.
I did not start supporting Arsenal until I was 8. Before that, it was just enjoying football. Before I was inducted into the Arsenal fandom. So yeah, 8.5. Yes, you were. So we'll move on to Patrick Vieira. Did he cost less or more?
He was a lot less. He was a lot less. I think I think it was only a couple of mil, like between 1 and 3 mil. We bought him from AC Milan.
4.7 million.
Oh, it's more than I thought it was. More than I thought it was.
Yeah, well, I was looking through all the transfer data today about it all. So some of them surprised me, to be fair. I thought it was about 3 million as well. I thought it was about 3 million personally, but then I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's quite a lot, actually. Big up to Mia Quo. Hope you're doing well, watching on Twitch. George won a European trophy, Wenger didn't, and only lost 1 game in 1990. Thank you very much, Tony. Pires, amazing. Vieira's an ugly's classic. What a player. Yes, he was. That's why he made my team, because he's just lovely. Just yeah. Let's move on to Liam Brady. Did he cost less or more than Patrick Vieira?
I'm just gonna go with common sense answer is he couldn't have cost as much as Vieira because of the obviously the years he played. So I'm gonna go for a lot less.
Yeah, he's actually one of our products. He was playing for the Irish teams as a youngster, and then came up for our ranks a little bit as well. So he's actually a product. Let's move on to Cesc Fabregas.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to cost more. I have no idea how much he would have cost. I know we got him young and from the Barcelona youth ranks.
Correct.
But I have no idea how much. I'm just going to hazard a guess. How much was Liam Brady worth? How much did we buy him for?
0 product.
Oh, 0. So Fabregas, I'm just going to take a punt and say $1 million.
2.6 million we paid Barcelona, which isn't, considering how much we sold him for, ain't too bad.
Yeah, good return.
Yeah, good return. Let's move on to David Rocastle. Did he cost more or less than Fabregas?
You know, I'm just gonna take hazard of a guess and just say he cost more.
Okay. Well, he was actually one of our products. So Jesus learned something there on
there we
Rocky
go.
Roadcastle. Yeah, he was one of ours. And Tony was right. Howland boy, I think. Cess brought it 14, 15.
Only needs to get the link, man. Just send him on the show.
Yeah, and unfortunately, yeah, exactly. I wish. Remember 80s Charlie Nicholas being the hugest signing for us, and then we got Alan Smith and shifted him. Yeah, it's mad how many good players we've got. Like Charlie George has not made any of these, but then I don't think any of us are actually old enough to even talk about it. But we know, like he's on our overlay on the back for the backstage because I know how good he was because my granddad told me how good he was.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of footage of him, but I couldn't say, oh yeah, I'm putting him on my greatest 11 because I haven't actually physically seen him.
Yeah, I've never physically seen him play in a game. And like for me, I was the first of my family to support Arsenal. So my dad, my grandfather, whoever, they all supported different clubs.
I'm intrigued what club now.
Sure. My dad was a Chelsea fan. God bless his soul. Okay. Yeah, he was a Chelsea fan. And obviously he wanted me to support Chelsea, but I just didn't. Didn't want to support
brave.
That was brave. It was, and my dad was mad about football as well. And he used to watch. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd sit down and watch that's when you had the Cup Winners' Cup. And you used to have Chelsea players like Andre Flo and Zola and Vialli and all them lot playing against Tromso in the snow. I still remember the game, watching it like with my dad. But I'd watch it, I'd enjoy the game, but I just didn't have an affiliation. I just didn't. Nothing in me said support the club. And he never really forced me. So he kind of left it up to me, and I just made my choice, and it was Arsenal. But yeah, he was a Chelsea fan.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's very nice of him because obviously Chelsea fans are well known for keeping it in generations as well.
Yeah, I think it was mainly to do with the fact that obviously, like for him, like I mean, he was an immigrant. He came to this country from like Trinidad, so I don't think it was. I don't think he kind of represented the kind of like for me. I think about how I've pushed Arsenal onto my children. He didn't. He didn't do that. He didn't do that to me. So I think like culturally, I think it was a bit different as well.
Yeah.
Like, he obviously came to this country and he took I don't know what. I mean, blue was his favorite color, so that probably makes a lot of sense.
Well,
and then I think he really, really liked the Italian contingent.
It would have been hard not to be fair.
Chelsea, he really, really did, because he used to always go on about the Viallis and the Zolas and the Di Matteos and so forth. So I really think he that kind of captured him. And then it was just a case of, for him, it wasn't, I think, the cultural difference in that, whereas I've been born here and it's like, no, my kids must support Arsenal. I don't think he didn't necessarily have that. So I think that's why he was a little bit more open and liberal in terms of my choice of team.
I wanted to put Charlie in, but couldn't leave Bergkamp out. To be fair, Dennis Bergkamp was one of the hardest people for everyone. I don't know if he's made every team, but I'm pretty sure he has.
I'd say he would have made most of them.
Charlie went to Derby in one league, then Southampton. He fell out with Arsenal manager Bob Howe, who everyone knows is Eddie's dad. So right, let's move on to Mesut Ozil. Did he cost more than our product, David Roadcastle?
I think it's closer. Of course he cost more. I mean, how can you forget the deadline day deal that was Mesut Ozil? I mean, I can't remember how much it was. I think it was in the £30 million region. But just the drama that was associated with that transfer. I don't think a single Arsenal fan alive to remember it will ever forget that moment, because it was just so late in the day. It was a massive marquee signing. I think it was a January window as well, which made it all the more dramatic. It's crazy, man. So Real Madrid, obviously, and I think it was around the £30 million mark, but I'm not sure
42.
how much exactly it was.
42
how
million.
Much?
42 million.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought it was that much.
I see, because the amounts I'm given are the official amounts. So whether or not at the time it's talked about, like with the add-ons and all that kind of stuff, maybe but these are the official figures that I'm given. So £42 million we paid for Mesut.
I genuinely didn't think it was that much.
I
thought it was like 30, 35 max.
Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate the love. My dad loved Arsenal when Charlie scored winner in Cup. He looked so proud. Yeah. You've only got to watch Fever Pitch to understand Arsenal fans, if I'm honest, and football fans as well, to be fair, because you could put that in a different category in a different football stadium, and I guarantee it's the same for whatever football fan it is. But it's being a football fan is just crazy. I don't know what it's about for you, G, but obviously I don't do it so much because I've got social anxiety. But when I go up the steps to go into my chair, like at the Molyneux, it gives you chills. Like, you just, I don't know what because when I used to play football, I used to play in stadiums. I was only semi-pro, but we were quite a big enough team to have a big stadium. And so every time going through the tunnel, coming out, going to play a game, it's just exciting. But being a fan, it feels different. I don't know what it is. And I only go to watch the Wolves. I don't go and watch Arsenal. I go and watch the Wolves. So I don't know what it is like for you when you go to the Emirates.
It is. It's crazy because I've been to like obviously a lot of the London stadiums when I was younger. I used to go a lot to watch Crystal Palace play because they were just they were the team that was most local to me, where me and my dad lived originally in Norwood, and then obviously it was a lot cheaper as well. You could get tickets a lot, and they used to actually give tickets out as kind of prizes in the school that I went to. And they would they worked with Crystal Palace. Like that was the cool. Kind of club that was closest to the school. And yeah, I remember the first time I went to Selhurst Park, and it was just like, it just blew my mind. Do you know what I mean? I'd never been to anything like that. And then obviously, Highbury, going to Highbury for the first time. But the one I really, really remember was the first time I ever went to the Emirates, and it just took my breath away. Just walking out, going through the turnstiles and walking through where you go into your seat and just getting to the top of the steps and then just seeing the pitch and just seeing the volume, of the actual stadium. And for me, because I don't go week in, week out, it'd be interesting to see what it's like for a season ticket holder, because I guess it's like a lot of things. You keep doing it. I don't know. Maybe it's special every single time they do it. But just like most things, I mean, if you keep doing it repeatedly, it doesn't. You become somewhat accustomed to it. But because I probably end up only going a couple times a season at most. Every time I go, it's just like, wow. Do you know what I mean? Like, really, just the atmosphere, just the size of it. It's a crazy experience. So in a way, it's almost like, I quite like that I only get to go a couple times a season, because it feels special every time I do. And I'm not saying that people that go week in, week out, that season ticket holders is not special for them. I'm not saying that at all. But just for me, it's like when you're not doing something, every single day or every other day or whatever it is, the time and the opportunities I do get to go, you really kind of appreciate it. And you just kind of have to take it all in. But yeah, it's an amazing. I think going into any type of stadium like that, but when it's the club that you love and it's the club that you supported your whole life, it's very different. Very, very different.
It is. Tony's saying Rocky and Righty were the reasons why I was drawn to Arsenal. I mean, I would have been anywhere as I'm third gen, but that helped massively. Yeah. Granddad was the reason that I supported Arsenal, and having literally, like, I was watching the Arsenal ladies. When do we play at home? Recently, and they were at Meadow Park, and my granddad's house was literally in the back view. It was really weird watching a game at Bournemouth whilst my granddad's house is at the back. But yeah, that's how close my granddad's house. And it's just, my granddad was the typical old man. You know what I'm saying about the female should be doing something else, but he would literally be so excited to go and watch the women's game. So it kind of changed his mindset a little bit. I loved it. It was I just love Arsenal. Arsenal's just a lovely club. I love it. Ozil could have been an Arsenal legend, but thought he was bigger than the club. I
mean, for some he is. For some years. For me, it's a bit half and half. Great player. I wouldn't say club legends, but I think it's a hard one with Ozil though, because it's like not many people are kind of impartial or kind of neutral with Ozil Usually with Ozil, it's like Marmite. It's like they either love him and they're absolute fanboys, or they just despise the guy. And a lot of the time, the ones that are fanboys, he could do no wrong, and he was the greatest player to ever live. And then the ones that despise him because of how it all ended, kind of undermine and don't appreciate what he actually did for the club, because he was a good player. So I'm kind of in the middle, really. I think he was a fantastic player. But I wouldn't go as far as to say club legend for me.
I'll be honest. Now, I followed Ozil for a long time because I'm a big German league fan. I think if he was in our club right now with Declan Rice, he would be having ridiculous amount of numbers, because he always needed that someone behind him that would back him up just to do what he does. Yeah. And the problem is with Ozil, he had to then do the legwork coming back, which isn't his game. And it's a bit like Xhaka. We bought Xhaka. We never played him to his full potential because until the last season. And I think if Ozil was in our club now, I'm not going to say remove a certain player. I'm not going to go there. But if we had Declan Rice and Ozil together, I guarantee you Ozil will be having some seriously crazy numbers, because he's the perfect player. Because Sami Khedira was his main man, really, at that level. Without Sami Khedira, he kind of flopped a little bit, if I'm honest with Ozil. But Ozil, look, I never really hate a player apart from Chris Cromwell. And that's only because of the Ipswich Town situation. That's it. That's literally the only reason. But Ozil, he gave me some nice memories, but to be fair, I didn't even think about him when I was picking my greatest 11. I was like,
no, I didn't.
No, I'll be honest. Rocky played like a Brazilian, was so good on the right, could tackle too. Warrior, Rocastle, I do remember, thankfully. Absolutely brilliant player. Didn't make mine. But I went for sentimental reasons for mine. So, Brenny, the Silva One, I hated it when they sold Rocky that day. I learned you can't get too emotional. My granddad taught me this. I will never get a player on a shirt until they've left the club or retired, because they will hurt you, which is why the only two players I've got on my shirts are Bergkamp and Dixon. That is it.
Not a bad shot.
I will get Martinelli at some point when he's left the club or retired, because you never know when he might leave. I would love him to stay at Arsenal for the rest of his career, but you never know. And my granddad always taught me, don't do it. And I won't. That's how I do it, things now. Did you know Charlie George's winner against Liverpool is the most played cup goal? Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise. That celebration as well. It's a celebration. Highbury will never beat for atmosphere. 100%. I will 100% agree with this. I've been to a lot of stadiums. Highbury. Molineux is actually really good. I have to be honest. If anyone gets a chance to go to Molineux, especially when Arsenal are away, the Arsenal away fans that come up here are mental, by the way. But if you ever come to the Molineux, you'll absolutely love the atmosphere. It's absolutely mental. It does remind me a little bit like Highbury, but Highbury you can't beat. You just can't beat it. Not for me anyway. I've been to a lot of stadiums and you can't beat Highbury. Ozil, amazing talent, but just not my kind of dude and player, and leaving in bad taste, really, with you, G. I would prefer hardworking like Alexis and Cesc. I got the hump with Gigi when Rocky was sold to Leeds, was not happy, but we had to move on. We missed his creativity, even though we won 3 trophies in the first 2 seasons he was gone. I said he could have been with boys, not he was. I almost went Rocastle over Lundberg. Have you been to the Emirates? I haven't personally. It's one of my things, but my social anxiety, unfortunately, is on a level that is, M wants me to go, and we will try and do it one day, but it's going to be tricky. I'll be honest. Away the lads, how's your international break going on, mate? It's not too bad. I don't have to listen to too much Premier League talk, so that's the main thing for me. I get to just to enjoy talking about other different bits of football. I'm enjoying it. Jordy, I hope you're having a good time as well, mate. Selhurst, we made so quiet when I was there that I don't know. Right, let's move on to Freddie Lundberg. Now, did he cost more than £42 million?
Nah, never. I don't know how much he cost. I can imagine he probably. I'm just going to take a guess because I don't know any of the transfer fees. I'd probably say about £5 million. I think we got him. I think we got him from a club, Halmstad, or something
well
like that.
done. Yeah.
Something like that. I
Yeah,
remember it was a weird. I remember it was a weird name, and it was something like that.
Yeah, well done, mate. That was I wasn't expecting you to get that one because that's a
What
really
was
tricky
what was the club called?
Hamstad.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Close enough.
3 points. Hang on, I've got his number here somewhere. 3.8 million we paid for him.
Yeah, I knew he didn't cost an arm and a leg. Like he was pretty cheap.
Right, let's move on to Gilberto Silva. Did he cost more or less than Lundberg?
I'm just gonna go with more. I have no idea. But I'm gonna go with more. I'll probably say between maybe 7 and 8 mil.
Oh, yes, 8 million.
Yeah,
8 million.
I think we got him from. I think it was Atletico Mineiro or something like that.
Gee, you're doing well here, mate.
Yeah. You know what it is with a lot of the recent ones. I do recall them because I mean these guys. I mean that was the team, innit? That was like this was the team that obviously I started supporting Arsenal before this, but this was the team that that was the team, the Invincibles, the squad. Our players, my players. These were the players that I was backing in arguments in the playground. Do you know what I mean? When you had United fans saying, Beckham or Lundberg, and I'm like, shut up! What do you mean it's Lundberg? And so these were my players. That years after year after year, like in the playground, arguing with like rival fans about them. So yeah. I think the stuff's up there. I might not get it all right, but with these kind of more modern players, these were the players that I saw my club sign. These are the players that I fell in love with as a young lad. Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to Ray Parlour. Did he cost less or more than £8 million?
I think he cost less, but I remember we signed him from Hull.
What?
Didn't we sign him?
No. Product.
No, we didn't sign him. What was he? Hale End?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. I'm sure we signed him.
Ray Parlour?
Yeah, I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't realize he was a Hale Ender. I thought we signed him from.
Hang on.
I'm sure we signed him from a lower league club. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong.
He played for Hull.
Okay.
He played for Middlesbrough. He played for Wembley. That's where his last club
was.
So
did he play for Hull after us then?
Yeah, 2007.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He was one of ours.
Okay. I didn't realize. So he was one of ours.
He's a Romford.
Nice.
There you go. Even Brenny's there.
Nice.
Parlour was Highlander.
That makes me love him.
Have you ever
Romford Pele, innit? That's what they call him.
Romford Pele. Because he used to go to the pier where my parents lived. And my brother worked on the pier. He was one of the Waltzer spinner dudes, whatever you call them. And Ray used to literally speak to everybody.
He's a man. He
was proper nice bloke.
Yeah, I love him.
With his family, he would spend the time to go and, obviously if you're a Tottenham fan or a Chelsea fan, he wouldn't bother going over to you.
Yeah.
If you're an Arsenal fan, my brother was a passionate Arsenal fan like I am, and he would go and speak to him. And honestly, such a nice bloke. I absolutely love Ray. Stefan Schwartz.
Yeah, you're gonna have to help me with
this. I am the only person that picked him, just so everyone's fully aware. This is why he's in there.
You have to help me with this one. I have no idea the price, and I hadn't got a Scooby-Doo way we bought him, or I have no idea whatsoever.
Okay, well, it was obviously higher than Ray Parlour. £850,000 from Benfica.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously he only made many games for us. We then sold him to Fiorentina for a profit. So, he wasn't there, but it was just the way he moved. I wish he was there longer. I'll be honest. He's one of those players I wish stayed longer. It was a toss-up between him and Jon Jensen. Jon Jensen, again, for me, I loved him for a reason. And every time we were in Highbury, every time Jon Jensen had the ball, it was always shoot. And, it was just so fun. I was young at the time, and it was just so fun just to always say shoot. And Jon Jensen would literally just go, pump. And to be fair, Jon is still at Arsenal now. He's a scout for us. But yeah, I knew some people would comment on this. Sorry, but I have to do ones that make me smile.
Is what it is. It's a choice.
Ray seems like awesome, nice guy. Parlour is honestly a really, really top-notch bloke. You pick Schwartz for your best 11 because it's my best 11, Moss. What me and G said right at the beginning of the show is no one's wrong. It's your own opinion. You could have picked I'm trying to think of someone. Glenn Howder, just because you
Yeah.
liked him watching him play. Anders Limpar, who did not make anybody's team, surprisingly. I would have possibly picked him because I liked him. I liked watching him play. Useless Sports. Very good movie. Very good movie for anyone that has no idea what they're on about. Spaceballs is a very good movie. Ray Parlour was great on ground force. 45 periods. That's whack. Moss, I'm not going to say anyone's wrong with their lineups. And this is my lineup. I'm happy. I'm happy that I chose Stefan because he just made me smile. There's good times that I remember at Highbury watching him play. Anyway, let's move on to Mark Overmars. Now, I'm not going to talk about his personal life because at the end of the day, he still play for Arsenal. He made me smile.
Brilliant player. Brilliant player.
And to be honest, when we signed him, I was shocked.
I'll be real. I mean, like, obviously, things happen off the field. We're not here to comment or talk about that, but it's not going to, whatever he did, I'm not going to get involved with that. But in terms of the impact he had as an Arsenal player, phenomenal player, absolutely phenomenal player. Very few players built like him that were that quick. Like they were just like he was so short, he was so stocky, he was so rapid. Like he was a game changer of a signing. He was just one of those players like didn't really know much about, but came in the side and he just had an impact, had an instant impact, and was just a quality player. I don't remember how much we paid for him, but I know I think he came from Ajax.
Yes.
I think we signed him from Ajax, but I don't remember. I'll hazard a guess. Honestly, I don't know. I'd say somewhere between 10 and 15 mil, but I haven't a clue.
A lot less.
Oh, is it?
£6.5 million.
Absolute bargain.
And we sold him for nearly 30 million.
Where did he end up going? Was it Barca you went to?
We sold him to Barca.
Yeah, he went to Barca. Yeah. But quality player Overmars. Mark Overmars, absolute quality player. I mean, he wasn't. I really struggled with my left winger. Really struggled. Because there was quite a few players I could have played there, and he was one of the players. I mean, he could play in a multitude of positions, but I liked him. I liked him out on the left-hand side. But yeah, quality player, absolutely quality player, Mark Overmars. What?
Yeah, 100%. Sports was a bit like Odegaard. Mate, I would totally agree with you there because honestly, if anyone gets the chance to watch Stefan Sports play, watch him because honestly, he was so underrated. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he wasn't with us for very long, but honestly, his performances every game was pretty good, to be fair. I enjoyed watching him. I had a hard time leaving Rob Holding. Mate, if you chose Rob Holding, I would not have had a pop at you. Because it's your greatest 11.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like people will laugh at me when we'll get onto the strikers because obviously he's coming up next. But I picked Bergkamp because I honestly couldn't not pick him because he was just sensational. But for me personally, it was a tough choice between him and Kanu. For me personally, now I know for a lot of people, it's a no-brainer. Bergkamp is the person you pick, and in the end, I had to go with obviously my love for Bergkamp, but also my logic as well. But Kanu for me was he was just unbelievably good. Like I genuinely, I'm not saying he's a better player than Bergkamp, but for me, I just fell in love with the way this guy played football, and I just fell in love with the journey he had. From his career starting, I think it was at Ajax, and then having the heart issues, being a free agent, we pick him. He comes to Arsenal. No one's even really expecting anything from him. You know what I mean? And then boom, he comes in and he's just moments. I mean, some of my, and I would say there's a lot of beautiful goals that I've witnessed as an Arsenal fan growing up. But some of the most beautiful goals I've ever seen was from Kanu. Yeah. I take the one against Spurs when he flicks it over the defender's head and volleys it in the bottom corner. The back heel one. The hat trick against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. There's just so many moments with Kanu, and the game just seemed to get to a standstill when the ball was at his feet. It's like the game could just be frantic as anything, and you get the ball, and it was just everything just stopped. is that everybody just waited until what was Kanu going to do? Just sensational, even for that Nigerian side as well. But yeah, I know I'm digressing. We'll move on. But Bergkamp for me was a no-brainer to pick Bergkamp, but for a personal choice, it was hard because I absolutely loved Kanu.
Yeah, no one's picked Kanu. So
I knew they wouldn't. I knew they wouldn't, and that's why I thought I might as well mention it because he was exceptional player. It was just a case of, we had Armoury and Bergkamp. There's not many players that would have been a regular in that side, with the likes of Armoury and Bergkamp. But he played his part, and he played his part magnificently. And he got us out of more than a few holes. Because he'd come off the bench and he'd just close off a game. He hold up play, strength. He wasn't pacey. He had a defense splitting pass in him. He was just brilliant. He was just brilliant.
Yeah, he was. That was when we were best club in the world, when we had Overmars flying. I was devastated when we went to Barca right before I went to see Arsenal win Ajax pre-season tour in Amsterdam. Trying to remember if that's no, I don't think it is the same year that because I know we did a pre-season tour in. I'm digressing even worse here. Ocean's 13. I don't know if anyone's seen the movie. They used Arsenal as part of the storyline. And it was because Arsenal were actually doing pre-season friendly in Ajax at the time, so they used the Arsenal players. I can't remember who it was now. Was it Stuart Taylor? I don't know, but one of our ex goalkeepers was in the movie as well. But yeah, I don't know if it was at the time as well. I'm not sure. It might have been a bit earlier. I'm not sure. Overmars was so quick. The goal at Old Trafford in '98. His brace against Everton to win us the league.
Old Trafford goal. It's like that's imprinted in my memory.
Yeah. Mark played at such high speed, was brilliant. Gary Neville still has nightmares of him, I bet. Yeah, Gary Neville's just got nightmares, just full stop. April 98 was Mark Overmars' month. The Silva One, how could you leave him out? I put him in with Centros. We should do a worst 11. That will take about 6 hours, mate. There's a lot of bad players in that. I'll be honest. We've had some shockers as well. We've had some great ones, but we've had some shockers. Was Bergkamp 13 million? We'll get onto him in a minute. The price. Kanu, but very good. Bergkamp was maybe 7, but we'll definitely get onto it. Right. So, how much was he? Less or more than Overmars, Mr. Bergkamp?
So, how much was Overmars again?
6.5.
Yeah, I'd say he was slightly more.
Yes, he was 9.5.
We get it from Inter, innit?
Yes, we got it from Inter Milan.
Yeah, Inter Milan.
So, Luke, you were close, but the official figure in the end was, I think it was 7.5 on CFAX at the time. Okay. I remember it being there, but it's actually 9.5 now. Obviously, add-ons and stuff like that. So, that's how much we eventually pay for him. Right, let's move on to these two. I'm not even going to say the first one. So, this dude from Holland.
Yeah, Feyenoord, I think.
Yes.
Or was it PSV? Feyenoord.
Yeah, Feyenoord.
Yeah, I think you know what? I have this fee in my mind, and I'm sure it's right, but you'll tell me if I'm not. 3.5 mil.
Very close, 3.8.
Okay.
Obviously, at the time, it probably was 3.5, but obviously this is like official, everything's sorted, and everything paid up. 3.8 from Feyenoord, so well done. Alexis.
Yeah, he definitely costs more.
Yep.
But the fee escapes me. I'm even trying to think who the hell we even got him from. Barcelona. Yep. Yeah, so we bought it from Barcelona. I'm gonna say it was higher. And I mean Alexis Sanchez, 27 mil?
37.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't
to be
sure.
Fair, out of all these players that we've done, which is 26, only 3 were above £10 million.
Listen, for a long time, we were like buying, KFC bargain buckets for a long time. But no, honestly, we were like, you know what I mean? It's like if you actually look at our record transfer fees now, they're all modern day signings. Like they're all like, you look at the likes of Rice and, I don't know what the list is. I mean, some of them not quite worked out, but yeah, for a long time, like we were spending money very, very wisely. You know, particularly under the Wenger years, we weren't spending very much. A lot of the players. I mean, when you look at the fees, what we paid for them, and then you look at the fees that are going around in today's market, it's just incredible, really. Like, what would a Freddie Ljungberg, as goal scoring right winger, cost now in this market? Jesus, can you imagine? You know, it's just, you know, what would Patrick Vieira, you know, if Declan Rice went for 105 mil, Patrick Vieira now, whew, mate. Yeah. And Thierry Henry, let's not even get into that. No. What would a prime Thierry Henry cost in this market? You're talking 300, 400 mil.
Yeah.
For prime Thierry Henry.
We have got some people trying to work out these things.
Yeah.
It could take them a while because they have to use all their...
Honestly, someone like Thierry Henry, easy. Saudi Arabia club would easily come forward with 300 mil. 300, 400 mil for Thierry Henry.
I know there's some talk about the Malta game here. As everyone knows, I don't support England until Southgate goes, so I don't even talk about it.
I just put it in the background.
Adam's goal against Everton. Yes, I was there. My mum paused it on
4-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That is just a moment. It's a moment. I was
just behind the goal, and because I got ginger hair, you could see me, so I stood out.
Yeah, it's a moment.
When they celebrate, honestly, it was just an amazing day.
It's a moment.
It's just the fact that he just had the balls just to go with the ball.
Can I ask a question? Did anybody pick Emmanuel Petit?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No, this is why we're on the forwards now. I've tried to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I saw the positions. I was like, oh wow, we passed midfielders. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably I included actions. Well, this is the thing. A lot at the time when we all read about it in the newspapers and CFAX, it was literally that was the price, and we all remember that price.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it does go up a little bit after that. So no Saka and no Rice, according to Tony, with the
happy days.
Malta. Happy days.
Happy days.
I believe these are the final two, and I have left the best two till last. Ian Wright and Thierry Henry.
Oh man!
I had to put them together because I had to put a Van Persie and Sanchez together for obvious reasons as well. Right. Did Wrighty cost more or less than Sanchez?
Yeah, he cost a lot less. I have no idea how much it was. Honestly, I'm just going to take a guess. I'll just take a punt at about 8 mil. I really don't know. And I know, obviously, we got him from Palace.
Yes, we got him from Palace. It was 2.5 million.
Yeah, I literally don't have a clue what he cost.
Yeah, it's look. Wrighty was just, he's just. It was so hard to pick between Wright and Henry for me.
100%.
But Henry, Wright gave me so many good memories at Highbury, like literally opening the dressing room window, shouting out the window to everybody. That was just something that stuck in my head, and he was just such a nice bloke, and he still is a nice bloke.
Ian Wright is literally the reason why I support Arsenal. But Thierry Henry, you know what it was with Thierry Henry? Yeah? Thierry Henry gave me chest to walk around my school. Like, us Arsenal fans were the guys. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when Thierry Henry was firing, no one could chat to me. You just couldn't chat to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you crazy? Did you see what Thierry Henry did to your defense, right? Did you see that? Like, it just that va-va-vum, like, literally, just the goals, the aura, the presence, the speed, the technical ability, it's just phenomenal. But Ian Wright, for me, what I love so much about Ian Wright is, like, for me, he was so relatable, and he still is so relatable. Yes. So not only was he a fantastic striker, but he was just real. Like, it's just a real. It's like I used to watch him play football, and you'd hear him speak and stuff, and you're like, as a kid, you'd just be like, that could be me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that could be me. Like, he's just a real person. He just played football the way he was as an individual, and he's just real. And I think that's why he's so relatable. Even now that he's retired, and I think he celebrated. What birthday? It was a landmark birthday he celebrated the other day. It was his 60th.
Yeah, his 60th.
Yeah, his 60th.
Yeah.
And still at 60 years of age, he's so relatable to so many different generations of people. Absolutely loved. So yeah, Ian Wright was the reason I supported Arsenal, but Thierry Henry gave me that swagger. Being an Arsenal fan, he really, really did.
Yeah. So let's move on to Thierry Henry. Did he cost more or less than Wrighty?
He cost more. I think he cost about 13 mil, and we got him from Juve.
Yeah. Yes. 13.5 million pounds from Juve.
I remember the 13 figure.
Again, people, I know it was 11. Yes, at the time it was 11 on teletext and newspapers and all that kind of stuff. But yes, the official figure now is 13.5. I have to use the official figures so I don't get into trouble. I remember having the hair on my neck rising watching Armoury at Highbury. Yeah. Highbury was just somewhere else, honestly. Obviously, I've not had the privilege of being at the Emirates yet, but I will already say I guarantee it's nothing like Highbury. I just know it.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, it's mad because like with Thierry Henry, it's my son Fidel. He's 18, he's at uni now. He was never massively into football, despite how much I tried, and he wasn't massively into supporting one club. He used to annoy me because he was one of these football fans that just watched it for the joy of the game, and he didn't really have an affiliation. And I remember one day, I sat down and I binge watched Thierry Henry's goals as his time in an Arsenal shirt, and I got him to watch it with me. And after he watched it, he literally was like, "I support Arsenal." He was just like, "I support Arsenal," and it was just like, it's like because it just took his breath away. Like every couple of minutes, he'd just be like, "Dad, did you see this? Did you see this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, mate, I was alive. I was watching this as it happened." Do you know what I mean? Like you're watching it now, like obviously YouTube clips and stuff. I was like, "Mate, I watched this guy week in, week out, absolutely terrorize defenses." But that's what it was like for me watching Ian Wright as a kid. And I remember just watching him, just his movement, his finishes, but just what he was like, his grit and determination and his personality. And it was the same thing. Different generations, different players, make you fall in love with the club.
Mate, it's true. Totally true. Did you know United tried to get Wrighty at last minute? They did. However, the agreement was already done between David and I can't remember the Crystal Palace dude was at the time. Alan in my head, but I think that's Alan's wrong. No, Henry was playing left or right. Henry was a winger at the time.
He was a winger, man.
Yeah, and Wenger turned him into a striker. Only Highbury game was the Armoury volley over Barthez, 1-0 Highbury. Man. That goal against Spuds from our penalty area and seeing Redknapp trying to keep up. Wrighty would never have left Arsenal. It's just different times. Unfortunately, the times have changed. Wrighty went to West Ham, which obviously wasn't a big problem for me because obviously half my family's from West Ham, so it wasn't a big issue for me, if I'm honest. But yeah, it was sad.
He played in the SPL for a little bit with Celtic, didn't he? I'm sure he did.
I know he went to Burnley.
Tony, let me know. Or am I dreaming? I'm sure he played in a Celtic shirt for a bit.
Hang on.
I'm sure he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I think it might even have been one of his last clubs.
So obviously we got him from Palace, then he went to West Ham, went to Forest on loan, went to Celtic, then went to Burnley.
Yeah,
that's where he ended his career.
Because I followed him even when he left Arsenal. I checked in on his games. You know what I mean? I just see if I wouldn't watch it per se. Like sometimes I'd catch it if the game was on, but when I looked at the final score, it always warmed my heart if I saw that he'd got on the score sheet.
Yeah.
Some players are just like that. They're just special.
They are right. Let's get into all our teams. Right, I'm going to actually put. You know what? I'm going to put Tony's up first because Tony did put his, and he's been in the comments. So this is his team. He's gone for Seaman, Dixon, Campbell, Adams, Winterburn. Pretty much most people have gone for that full back for 5, if I'm honest, apart from Cole's in some. Vieira, Liam Brady, Armstrong, which we're all going to have to look at after the stream. Bergkamp, Armoury, and Wright. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know about Armstrong, but from the rest of the players, beautiful.
Yeah.
Just beautiful too.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to do any ratings because everyone's is a 10, no matter what. Because it's all memories, it's all your own reasons for liking these certain players. So everyone's getting a 10. There is no ratings on it. I just want to see what people went with and for different reasons. When I listen to Bitter Merson, I think, why can't you be like Righty? I bet Merson didn't get in any team. No. We will have to be talking about him in the challenge, though. The reason I think what people forget about Paul Merson, he's actually a Chelsea fan, big Chelsea fan. So not even just a slight Chelsea; he's a proper big Chelsea fan. He likes Arsenal, but he's a massive Chelsea fan. So that's probably the reason why. Right, let's get into the first 2 teams. Canner's team. So he's gone with Seaman, Sagna, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Saka, Brady, Vieira, Perez, Bergkamp, Armoury. I love it. It's a very good mix as well.
Yeah,
so you've got Brady from the 70s, Saka now.
So but this is Canner's though, isn't it? This is Canner's, like, you know what I mean? He's an old man, but he ages like a fine wine. Do you know what I mean? That's Canner's. That's literally Canner's. No, but Jen, trust me, see this guy, man. Listen, he looks amazing. So that's Canner's. He's got the Brady definitely for sure. Kind of like, tells you his age, but then he's got the sprinkle of the modern players. That represents how he actually looks. So yeah, I love that team.
He's a good one. Luke went with Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Saka, Fabregas, Vieira, Perez, Henry. It's just beautiful. This is why everyone's getting 10s. You just cannot knock these teams.
Yeah, none of these teams are bad teams.
No,
literally, they're just not bad teams. They're just
love it. I know my team's going to come up, but mine's a really different reasons for that. But right, let's move on to the next one. Brenny went with Seaman, Sagna, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Rocastle, Fabregas, Vieira, Perez, Henry, Bergkamp. It's just sublime again. Gumsa went for a little different formation. Everyone, I did say, you tell me the formation, I'll put him in the formations. Seaman, Sagna, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Vieira, Fabregas, Ozil, Alexis Sanchez.
You know what? I must admit, though, I am surprised. I haven't seen all the lineups yet, and I haven't seen anything before tonight's stream.
Yeah.
So this is all just coming before my eyes now. Obviously, I know people put it in the chat, but I didn't really want to pay too much attention until the stream. Yeah. But I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised not as many people did pick Alexis Sanchez. I thought he would have been more of a popular choice than he actually was. Was it just Gumsa that picked him?
I think there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2. Yeah, that surprises me because I didn't pick him, but I did think he would be a more popular choice than he was because he was phenomenal for Arsenal.
Yeah,
maybe it was the whole United transfer.
Yeah, it was for me. To be honest, if you pooed on Arsenal, there's no way I'm picking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The same with Van Persie, mate. I can't do it.
No,
I can't do it.
My granddad taught me a certain way to support Arsenal and have a fan.
I still got trauma from that transfer.
Yeah.
And then he went there and won the league. I was like, no.
Yeah, exactly. It's just painful, isn't it?
I just can't do it. Can't do it.
My granddad was a very wise man. He supported Arsenal for so many years. He's very wise. That's why I listened to him. Right, GTalks, this is your team.
Yeah, man.
So you went for Seaman, Laurent, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Saka, Gilberto, Vieira, Perez, Henry, Bergkamp. The only question I've got is, why did you go for Laurent?
Just out of all of them, I mean, he was my favorite. It was difficult because I've seen, I've seen Luzhny, I've seen Dixon, I've seen Sanya, I've seen Lauren. But for me, I just think personally, and it's not a case of like he was a better player than Sanya or any of the other ones, but just for me personally, I just think he had everything. He had the right balance between attack and defense. He was so strong. He was quick. Yeah, I just loved Lauren. I saw him play a lot for the Arsenal side, but then I also really admired the Cameroonian side that he was a part of as well, internationally. So yeah, it was hard. It was a difficult choice. It wasn't easy for me to pick Lauren, but out of all the right backs, he was just my personal choice. He just was. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why this is difficult, because I can't massively say, oh, this is what he had over Sanya or this is what he had over Dixon, because I can't really sit here and even criticize those players, because for me they weren't bad players. But just in terms of my memories as an Arsenal fan, and just the way he played and the way I enjoyed watching him, it just had to be Lauren for me. I can't sit here and criticize the others. Because you if you give me Dixon tomorrow, you give me Sanya tomorrow, happy days. But just if I have to make a decision, it was Lauren for me.
No, it's fine. I'm just interested to hear your opinion about Laurent, because I rate him as a right back. I think he's a very good right back, but it was unusual to hear his name being mentioned when it comes to greatest 11. I just wanted your opinion.
He was just, to me, he was defensively sound.
Yeah,
he was just defensively sound. Like I can't think now, even in today's day and age, I can't think of many left wingers that would get the better of Lauren.
No.
I genuinely can't. And I think he had the balance right. Like he wasn't one of these wing backs that you would say defensively he'd get found out. But then I wouldn't necessarily say he was exceptional going forward. But for me, he had the right balance of being good defensively, but also offering a threat going forward. He wasn't a Trent where he's just exceptionally going forward, but quite poor defensively. And then he wasn't, say, I can't think of a right back off the top of my head, but who could only defend and just offered you nothing. For me, he had that perfect balance between the two. And I genuinely can't think of many left wingers in world football ever that would consistently get the better of Lauren. He was an absolute warrior, like strength-wise and speed, absolute warrior.
True. Was. So we got the Silva One. He's gone with Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Lundberg, Bergkamp, Vieira, Perez, Wright, Armoury. Beautiful. It's just beautiful. Honestly, every team.
I really like the formation as well.
Yeah,
I really like the formation. Yeah, I do.
Honestly, I think that team could actually win a lot of trophies. If I'm honest.
And the way what I really like here is that he's done it in a way he's got Bergkamp, Wright, and Armoury in the same side, which I love.
Yeah,
wow,
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I've enjoyed writing all these teams up, by the way. People. King, we'll go on to yours. So obviously he picked Laurent as well.
Yeah,
Seaman, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Vieira, Fabregas, Perez, Alexis, Bergkamp, and Armoury. Again, good team.
Yeah, good team. Good team.
And to be fair, Perez could play centre midfield. A lot of people think he's
easily,
bigger, but he's very comfortable centre midfield as well.
Easily.
Obviously, I've quickly covered mine. This was just for happy days. It was the reason. Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Keown, Winterburn. For me, that is the best back five ever for me. Ray Parler, Vieira, Bergkamp just behind Ian Wright, Stefan Schwartz, and Overmars. I honestly do think that team, it made me smile. And that's the reason I like it. So, as I said, no one's wrong. It's just personal reasons. Jon Jensen was very close to getting in the team. So, that's how my mind was. Moss, he went with Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Campbell, Winterburn, Vieira, Lundberg, Perez, Saka, Bergkamp, Armoury. Again, just brilliant.
And I can see that. Like, I can see the front three working, because like some people might say, "Oh, you're playing Bergkamp centrally," but like a false nine, you drop deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Bergkamp drops deep, picks up the ball. It just space just opens for the likes of Saka and Armoury, and then Bergkamp probably the best I've seen ever live. That defense splitting pass, the way he can just put that ball through players that most people can't even see that pass. But not only can he see it, he then executes it. Yeah, I can see why that front three would work.
Yeah. Big up to Satvic, who actually put a lot of effort into him. So I have done the effort to try to do exactly what he sent me. So he went with Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Campbell, Winsburn, Vieira as the DM, Ozil as a floating midfielder, Bergkamp just behind Van Persie, Saka, and Armoury. Again, I'm not going to say anything wrong because, but
it's a beautiful side.
It is a beautiful side, but there's obviously just players that don't like in that team. But that's personal opinion. But they're all getting 10s. Everyone's getting a 10. It's simple. It's a simple show, this one. I'm going to have to be careful because I know what's coming up. So I think them. Oh, no, we've got to take that off. Right, hang on. Get that off. Get off. That's for next. So that is the challenge that's coming up in a moment. All right, let's get into the comments before we get into the challenge for Mr. G. Oh, crikey, there's been a lot. Wasn't Merson Howland? I think he was, but like we've had. I don't remember. Don't forget Harry Kane, Highlander, went off. He's now at Munich. Went to Tottenham, so it happens. Let's try and go through some of these. Alexis probably a more popular choice among the. Yeah, that is true. My team would control them teams with the rule of 1,000 man. Love it, G. Laurent, so underrated, intense, and skilled. G's me and Tony nearly same team, except I went for 4-3-3. Took a few crucial pens, did Laurent. I remember a last-minute penalty against Spuds back in March 2002, I think it was.
Yeah,
Told you, G, I don't pick traitors. My team is sexy. Dixon was so smart, offensive, and defensively. Yeah, He's always going to be my favourite fullback of all time. So, yeah, you're never going to get me not picking Dixon. Gio, what's my team playing black and white? He was an excellent replacement for Dixon. Are we playing G70 rules? Satvic, that's a crazy team. Everyone gets a 10. It's as simple as that. There is no horrible, mean... Look, I get why people pick certain players, and that's fine. I've just personally couldn't pick anyone that actually hurt me at the time of leaving the club. So that it is what it is. Right, let's get into the challenge, people. This is going to be fun. Right, so G has got 2 Arsenal teams right in front of him right now. One is the Cup Winners' Cup winners in 93-94, and one is 2005, is it? I can't remember now, because obviously I'm trying to set everything up for the actual formation. Right, so G, you've got to pick 6 from the team with the older badge, so the Seaman team. Yeah, and then 5 from Layman's team. That's the best way of doing this, I think. Right. So, what do you want to start with? Do you want to pick with a 5 or do you want to start with a 6?
Gosh.
And you can pick the subs. So any subs on there, because obviously with the 94 team, you've got Parlors on the bench there.
Oh, we got Sol Campbell on the bench.
Yeah, you got Sol Campbell on the newer team. That's Kevin Campbell on the older team. Getting confused.
No, I clocked once I saw the position, I was like,
just not want anyone getting confused with that one.
Okay.
Let's start with goalkeeper. That might be actually. Yeah, we're going to start position by position. I will make sure that.
Seaman, 100%.
Yeah, Seaman. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So now you've got 5 from 5. So you can pick 5 players from each lineup now.
Okay. Well, let's go with Dixon at right back.
Okay.
Adams at centre back.
Okay, so you're going with the 90s team at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go with Sol Campbell as the other centre back.
Okay.
And let's go with Winterburn as left back.
Okay, so you've gone 4 from the 90s team. So you've got 2 more from the 90s team to pick. I would suggest probably picking the other 2 because the midfield isn't the greatest. I think it was Morrow, Selly, and Paul Davies. Paul Davies was very good, but Ian Selly and no offense if you're listening, but great.
See, for me personally, the only 2 I could really pick, in terms of in terms of the only 3 I could really pick here, I'll be honest, is Campbell, Merson, and Smith. But I'm not going to pick all those 3.
Yeah.
So
you can pick 2 of those. So which ones you can pick? Because it's probably best to get those 2 out the way now.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Smith and Campbell.
Okay, so you want to put Kevin on the right? Because you can put him on the left if you wanted to.
No, I'll go with Kevin on the right.
Right.
Smithy down the middle.
Okay, cool. Right, so the rest of the players now come from Lehman's team. So you've got 4 to pick. 1
and that's
left winger,
3 midfielders and 1.
Yeah.
3 midfielders and 1 forward, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with. So when you say Gilberto Silva, that's Gilberto Silva, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's go with obviously Vieira.
Okay.
Because we're playing a 4-3-3, right, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, should have said that, but yeah, it's 4-3-3.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Silva and Perez in the middle.
Okay.
And then the last one I'm gonna pick is Bergkamp.
Okay.
Yeah, those 3. I might tweak the front line, maybe. No, I think it'll be all right. I'm thinking whether to switch Kevin and Bergkamp.
It's more to do with the players, not the formation.
Yeah.
Right. So this is. Let's see if I can quickly show it now. I have created it. There it is. So that was me busy doing that whilst G was talking. So this is G's team. You've got Seaman in goal, Dixon, Adams, Campbell, Winterburn, Perez, Vieira, Gilberto, Kevin Campbell, Smith, Bergkamp. Maybe it's just because I'm in a really good mood, but that's getting a 10.
I love it. It's like I weren't too sure about it, but I've seen it on paper. I'm like, oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, it is lovely. You are up against 2 other people, and we're going to have to bring that up now. And I might.
For the first time, I don't care if I win or lose, mate.
So Chris has picked Seaman, Laurent, Adams, Torre, Cole, Fabregas, Vieira, Paul Davis, Ray Parler, Smith, and Merce. When he showed me this, I was like, I love it. That's so good.
Yeah.
Because he's managed to get a very good backline. Good backline. Paul Davies was a very underrated midfielder, by the way. For people that don't know who he is. Very good.
His back four is beautiful, isn't it? Cole, Lauren, Adams, and Torre.
So, Chris, you're getting the 10 as well. I think we all know where this is going anyway. And Kelly, she wrote with Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Bald, Cole, Parler, Vieira, Fabregas, Perez, Van Persie, Merson. Now, I could be mean and say Van Persie puts you down to a 9. However, it's greatest 11.
Yeah.
So again, it's a 10. Well done to everybody, because that wasn't that easy, to be fair. Because no offense to the 90s team, it wasn't that amazing when we've seen the players that were in the other team. It was tricky. So well done, G. Thank you very much, mate. That was
no worries, man. No worries. I
really
enjoyed this.
Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Bald, Winterburn, Lundberg, Vieira, Silva, Perez, Bergkamp, Smith, 10. Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Sol, Cole, Parler, Davis, Vieira, Perez, Smudger, Burkamp, 10. I don't think anyone beats. I think everyone's just getting a 10 because honestly, such good teams. Even with Van Persie, I'll allow it. It was a good player. And to be honest, we did make a profit on him. So that's the bonus of that on. My challenge team, Seaman, Dixon, Adams, Campbell, Winsburn, Vieira, Perez, Davis, Kevin Camp. Oh, just beautiful again. Just beautiful. Guys, it's been a great pleasure doing this. We will be back. Well, I will be back next Tuesday. I've got an Arsenal news. It's nothing like breaking news. It's more of we're going to talk about what we could do in January window. So it's kind of news, but kind of not. But I will be back on Sunday to do Brighton versus Arsenal watch along, 2:00 kickoff. So please join me for that. G, thank you as always for coming on. Where can they find you, my friend?
No, thank you so much. I mean, that was an absolute pleasure doing that. I mean, I enjoy all our streams, but that was just magical, like memory lane and all sorts. But no, obviously you can find me on X, is where I do basically all my interacting. So yeah, please do follow me on X, drop me a DM, and then we can obviously I can follow you back and we can start interacting. But obviously, this is where you can also find me, Armoury TV, with my boys, with my family, doing shows as often as I can. Sometimes not as often as I want to, but I try to make myself as available as possible. But yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. If you haven't liked the stream, then please do like the stream. Please do tell other gooners as well where we are, where they can find us. The more support, the merrier, because genuinely, people, we can't do this without you. And thank you to everybody in the chat. It's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, G. That's very nice. GOG, you're a teacher. You got a 10. You can't get beat. To be fair, I was going to be very nice to everyone anyway. Terry saying great fun. Thanks, guys. Lots of love. Big ups to everybody in the chat. I will be back as well on FTSN tomorrow. I've got an interesting game. Southend versus Chesterfield, National League. You know me, how much I love the National League. If you want to see proper tackles and I would say bad refereeing, but referees that allow some bad tackles, please do watch National League. It's very entertaining. I'm going to enjoy that game tomorrow. But guys, have a great weekend. Take care, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.